A very good afternoon to everyone present here. I, Nupur Mehta, Assistant Professor in Parul University, would like to welcome Dr. Bhavna Vaid as a speaker for our today's webinar on ketogenic diet, risk, benefit, and alternative. Bhavna ma'am is an Associate Professor with MBM Science and Home Science College, Rajkot. She is a convener of Indian Dietetic Association, Gujarat Chapter and NetProfin Gujarat Chapter. She has several research publications in national and international journals. Ma'am has also authored 3 books on nutrition and dietetics in English and Gujarati. Ma'am has contributed a chapter in book Eat Right, a Food System Approach by Food Future Foundation. Bhavna ma'am, I heartily welcome you on behalf of all staff and students of Department of Nutrition and Dietetics. We are glad to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Nupur. And very first thing that I would like to say today is thank you very much to Parul University, to Dr. Nishita Bakshi for inviting me for this session and giving me an opportunity to interact with the students. Thank you, Nupur, for excellent coordination. And I must congratulate the entire team for organizing such events, which I'm sure would be great learning sessions for the students of nutrition and dietetics. So we begin today's session on keto diet. Keto diet, risks, benefits, and alternatives is the topic. And why I decided to talk on this topic today is mainly because keto diets are in trend. A lot of people following this diet, maybe for quick results, to gain weight loss, or to build a muscular body. When we follow a diet, it becomes equally important to know about the risks and the benefits, especially because the conventionally followed diets are the ones which, when people consume for quick results, often result in hazards, mainly because there have not been sufficient studies to support the sustainability of such diets. So today I'm going to give you some information about keto diets, what are the risks associated, what are the benefits, and what can be the alternatives. So when did the keto diet begin? Who was the first one to start using ketogenic diet? Keto diet or ketogenic diet, they are the words used. Often people, as a short form, it is keto diet. The full term is ketogenic diet. So the ketogenic diet was first given by Dr. Russell Wilder in 1921. So a century ago, and it was mainly used for the management of refractory seizures in pediatric patients. So when children suffering from epilepsy and having the problem of seizures, and when these were not controlled, the seizures were not controlled by medicines, then the only alternative to control this symptoms was the use of ketogenic diet, which was first given by Dr. Russell. And this diet consisted of fat to carbohydrate and protein ratio of 4:1. So it was a diet in which 90% of the calories were provided by fat and remaining 10% by total carbohydrate and protein included in the diet. There are several variations of this diet available. where either the animal or the plant-based derivatives or the sources of fat are used. And based on the restriction uh, of carbohydrate, which is around 20 to 50 grams per day, the results vary. A well-formulated ketogenic diet limits the protein intake moderately to less than 1 gram to 1.5 gram per pound body weight. And this amount of protein is generally prescribed for individuals who are performing heavy exercises, and so they require higher amount of proteins. So when we say keto diet, it implies a diet which is very low in carbohydrate but very high in fat. And it is a diet which has many similarities with the Atkins diet or the low carb diets. And as the figure tells us, while the ketogenic diet uh, uh, is the one where the intake of energy uh, is mainly from fat providing 90% of total energy. Atkins diet is the one where 64% of energy comes from fat. Protein in ketogenic diet is around 8%, while it is 30% in Atkins diet. And carbohydrates are limited to only 2% of total calorie requirement in ketogenic diet, which is about 6% in Atkins diet. So this is the basic difference between the ketogenic diet and the Atkins diet. So ketogenic diet involves drastical reduction of carbohydrates, which I say it's around the minimum, say 20 grams to even 250 grams. Now, when carbohydrate amount is drastically reduced, it puts the body in a metabolic state which is called ketosis. Means it is a condition when the body starts using ketones which are produced from the oxidation of fatty acids as the source of energy, replacing glucose. Now, these ketones are produced in the liver and they become the chief source of energy for the body, including even the brain. Now, it takes about 2 to 4 days for a person to reach this state of ketosis after the diet is started. And when the keto diet is started, it lowers the blood sugar as well as the insulin levels, and the body's metabolism is shifted from carbohydrate towards fats and ketones. So it's a metabolic state. Yes, ketosis is a metabolic state where the body starts using fat for fuel instead of carbohydrates. Following a ketogenic diet is the most effective way to enter ketosis. And since the intake of fat in the diet is very high, this diet proves to be a filling up diet, means it has a higher, very high satiety value. And as a source of fat, the foods included are different kinds of oil and butter. Plus, it includes foods like meat, fish, eggs, nuts as well. There are some factors which affect the beginning of ketosis in the body. One of the factor is the protein content. Now, if the protein content is raised in keto diet, there are all the chances that this protein in the body gets converted to glucose, and this production of glucose slows down the transition of body to ketosis. So protein moderation is a very important factor. Second thing, intermittent fasting is seen to have a positive effect on ketosis, in the sense that ketosis, a body enters the state of ketosis faster in if a person is on intermittent fasting. especially when the food intake is limited to 8 hours, whereas fasting is for 16 hours. Now, when what are the ketones? Okay, so there are three ketone bodies formed in the body from by the oxidation of fatty acids, and these ketone bodies are acetoacetic acid, beta hydroxybutyric acid, and acetone, and which we collectively call ketone bodies. So these ketone bodies, which are produced in the liver, are produced by the process called ketogenesis. In a well-fed state, when a person is uh, taking more of carbohydrates, or in a well-fed state, the body level of ketones is generally less than 2 milligram percent. Uh, but on a keto diet, this amount greatly increases. Production of ketone bodies is known as ketosis. And when we find high level of ketone bodies in the blood, we refer to this condition as ketonemia. And when more ketone bodies are excreted in the urine, the condition is known as ketonuria. Uh, Acetone is a ketone body which is eliminated through the lungs, through the exhaled air, which gives a peculiar smell uh, to the exhaled air or the breath uh, in a person who is taking keto diet. So ketosis, if a person is taking carbohydrates as a main energy source, then a person doesn't enter into a state of ketosis. And it's ketosis only happens when a person consumes a lot of fat as a source of energy. We know that when we consume glucose as the main source of energy, this glucose is uh, taken to the cells due to the presence of insulin. This glucose is used as the energy molecule, and whatever glucose is not utilized in the body is converted to glycogen and stored in the liver as storage carbohydrate. And whenever glucose levels fall, this glycogen is again broken down and is converted into glucose and utilized for energy. So excess glucose in normal, on when a person is on normal diet, the excess glucose will get converted into glycogen. It will be stored in the liver and muscles. And as long as there is enough glycogen in the liver and the muscles, the body will not depend on fat as its source of energy to carry out different functions. But when we stop giving body carbohydrates, the glucose formation is restricted, and the body has to look for other sources of energy. And then this is the time when the body begins to break down the fat stored in the adipose tissue, uh, uh, oxidizes fat to glycerol and fatty acids, and then fatty acids are converted to ketone bodies, namely beta hydroxybutyric acid, acetoacetic acid, and acetone. Now, when fatty acid are converted to the ketone body, the first ketone body that is produced is acetoacetate. And later on, this acetoacetate is converted to beta hydroxybutyric acid and acetone. And acetone, as I said, is exhaled through the exhaled, whereas the beta hydroxybutyric acid, the body adapts to using beta hydroxybutyric acid as its source of energy. Brain efficiently uses beta hydroxybutyric acid as a source of energy. Now, initially, when a person begins taking keto diet, that is the state when the amount of ketones in the blood is controlled. Then, when a person enters ketosis, the ketone bodies begin to build up in the blood. So, if we measure ketone bodies in the blood, uh, it will be much higher than the value, the standard value or the normal value. So, initially there will be a rise in the ketone bodies, but once the brain begins to use these ketone bodies, there will be again a drop in ketones in the blood. Now, some people consider this as slowing down of the process of ketosis, but actually ketosis has not slowed down, but the body has adapted itself to using ketones as the energy source. So when a person is taking a normal diet, which is high in carbohydrates, when the glucose levels, and because it is high in carbohydrates and following digestion of carbohydrates, there will be rise in glucose level in the blood. The pancreas will be stimulated to secrete insulin, and this insulin will shuttle glucose into the cells, and the cells will use glucose as the source of energy. But when a person is on a keto diet, and when the intake of carbohydrate has been limited, the glucose levels fall down, as a result of which the enzyme lipase releases stored triglycerides. These triglycerides are broken down to glycerol and fatty acid into the liver, and then the fatty acid is further broken down to ketones, which then serve as the source of energy. So if we compare a person taking a normal diet and a person consuming keto diet, what kind of food pyramid will you see? So the conventional food pyramid, if we see, the base has cereal products and bread, pasta group, which form carbohydrate-rich foods. Next in the group is the fruits and vegetables, followed by protein-rich food, and the minimum quantity to be consumed is fats and oils. So that is a conventional food pyramid. Now, a person taking keto diet, what kind of pyramid will you see? So here the base, instead of having carbohydrate-rich food, the base here is formed by fat-rich food, whereas carbohydrate-rich vegetables or fruits or the cereal products, they form the tip. So keto diet has 5 to 10% carbohydrates, means the total energy from carbohydrates is 5 to 10% of the total energy requirement. Proteins will form 25 to 30% of the energy requirement, whereas 70 to 80% or even 90% will be fat. There are several types of ketogenic diets. Standard ketogenic diet is the one which is used maximum. And here the percentage of calories derived from fat, protein, and carbohydrates is 70, 20, and 10. There's a high protein ketogenic diet where this ratio is 60% fat, 35% protein, and 5% carbohydrates. There's one more type which is cyclical ketogenic diet. So here the diet involves periods of higher carbohydrate refeeds, such as 5 ketogenic days followed by 2 high carb days. Okay, so because the ketogenic diet is not continuously followed, in a week there are a couple of days where a person takes a high carbohydrate diet. So it is known as cyclical ketogenic diet, and then there is targeted ketogenic diet. This diet allows a person to add carbohydrates around workouts. So I'm sure it must be understood that cyclical ketogenic diet and targeted ketogenic diet are mostly used by athletes or the bodybuilders, whereas the person whose aim is to reduce weight, or an epilepsy patient will follow standard ketogenic diet. Which are the foods which can be consumed liberally when a person is on a keto diet? Obviously, these are the foods which are very high in fat. So these are keto-friendly foods. There's the list of foods which you can consume, a wide variety. So the person consuming keto diet will have a good amount of choice. Eggs are allowed, poultry, fatty fish, especially salmon, herring, and mackerel. Meat is perfectly all right. So grass-fed beef, venison, which is deer meat, pork, organ meats, and bison. Bison, I'm sure the students must be knowing, it is an animal, also known as American buffalo. Then full fat dairy products, yogurt, butter, and cream are allowed. Full fat cheese, so different kind of cheeses are allowed. Nuts and seeds, so there's macadamia nuts, almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, peanuts, flax seeds, all allowed. Nut butter, butter made out of different nuts, so peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butters are all allowed. Healthy fats. So here the word healthy fats is very important because people on keto diet often begin to consume saturated fat, and that leads to some complications or health hazards. So healthy fats which are low in saturated fat, high in unsaturated fats. So these fats include coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, coconut butter, sesame oil. Avocados are allowed. Non-starchy vegetables which are low in carbohydrates. So green leafy vegetables, broccoli, tomatoes, mushrooms, peppers, and different condiments are also fine. Foods to be avoided are the foods which are high in carbohydrates. So these foods include different kinds of breads and baked products, which contain a lot of refined flour and sugar. Then sweets and sugary foods are also to be avoided. Sweetened beverages to be avoided. Pasta not allowed. Grains and grain products not allowed. Starchy vegetables no. Beans and legumes no. Fruit which are high in carbohydrates no. High carb sauces, certain alcoholic beverages which have added sugar are not to be consumed. And it is very important that processed foods and unhealthy fats are avoided. So when we use the word unhealthy fats, so these fats include margarine or shortening or vegetable oils such as canola and corn oil. Processed foods, all the fast foods, packaged foods, processed meats to be stopped, and diet foods. So these are the foods. Diet foods often contain artificial colors, preservatives, sweeteners such as sugar, alcohols, and aspartame. So these are to be avoided. Now, when a person is taking ketogenic diet and when he or she uh, continues it for a good number of days, the body enters into a state of ketosis, and we see this ketosis in different phases. Phase 1 begins from the first 8 to 10 hours of starting a keto diet. What happens when a person starts keto diet? So, because it has been just 8 to 10 hours, the body is still absorbing fuel from the previous meal. So, the body still has some glucose or carbohydrate stores. Now, within 10 hours after the last carbohydrate containing meal, roughly 50% of the body's total energy requirements are now being met by free fatty acids. Okay, so after 10 hours or maybe within 10 hours, the body now has almost consumed its storage carbohydrate, and now it has started using free fatty acids as its energy source. Uh, Next is phase 2, which takes place in 1 to 2 days since starting the diet. Now the body starts relying mostly on free fatty acids as the source of energy, and the breakdown of liver glycogen also. So whatever liver glycogen is there will be now used up, and the body also starts using free fatty acids for energy. The liver glycogen will be consumed within next 12 to 16 hours. In phase 3, which begins from 3 to 4 days of starting of the diet, gluconeogenesis starts. Means the body starts making glucose from sources other than carbohydrates, so mainly proteins, lactate, pyruvate, and glycerol. Uh, Except for the tissue of the brain, the other tissues start decreasing the use of glucose, and they begin to rely more on free fatty acids and ketones, and protein breakdown also increases. In phase 4, which begins from day 4 to 7, ketosis has started and will continue as long as carbohydrates are restricted, and brain also now begins utilizing ketones very efficiently. The liver also starts producing ketone bodies in large quantities, and the initial side effects of ketogenic diet, mainly keto flu, a person may observe the symptoms of keto flu. There's a slide on keto flu, which we will see soon. In the phase 5, which is after 7 days of starting the diet, just a minute. Protein breakdown and gluconeogenesis both decrease considerably, and major protein sparing adaptations have occurred for ketosis. So now the body begins to spare protein, and chiefly depends on fat as its source of energy. And any large fluctuations in blood sugar levels or blood pressure might require immediate attention. So the same thing, same information with little added points, like 12 to 24 hours, ketone bodies begin to produce in the body. In 4 to 5 days, a person sees the symptoms of keto flu. So, what are the symptoms of keto flu? Fatigue, mind fog means confused mind, dehydration. After a week, the weight loss begins to take place, and the mind is now clear, no confusion. Uh, After a span of 2 weeks, there is decreased hunger, because I said earlier, because a person is consuming high fat, which has greater satiety compared to carbohydrates and proteins. There's decreased hunger, and the body has overall start adjusting to this new source of energy. At 4 weeks' time, the insulin secretion also drops, and 5 weeks and up, there is less and less craving for carbohydrate foods, and weight loss is taking place. There is hunger control, and the body has adapted to use fat as its source of energy. So, uh, how ketogenic diet uh, uh, brings about change in the body? So, when less sugar is available, the liver generates ketones. Uh, a person feels less hunger, and fat is used as body fuel. Now, here the muscle loss is minimal because the body doesn't depend on protein. So, muscle loss is minimal. The blood lipids improve. We see improvement in the triglycerides to HDL, and the triglyceride to HDL ratio becomes almost 1. So, HDL level rises. HDL, that is the good cholesterol. Now, after having talked about what is keto diet, what is ketosis, what are ketone bodies, how will a person know whether the body has entered the state of ketosis or no? So, some symptoms observed include increased thirst, dry mouth, frequent urination, and decreased hunger or appetite. And apart from that, there will be improved cognitive performance. So, cognitive performance, which includes tasks such as thinking, reasoning, remembering. There'll be improvement in these functions. Keto breath, so acetone being exhaled will give the a specific uh, smell, which is known as keto breath. There'll be muscle cramps, there'll be some digestive issues, and there'll be decreased energy for exercise in the initial stage. Are there any tests available for ketosis? Yes. There are very simple tests a person can do uh, to check whether the body has entered the stage of ketosis. These tests are simple tests done on blood, urine, and breath. So, blood, if we measure the amount of ketone bodies, we get to know. Urine, simple test tapes are used, dipped in the urine, and the color change in the tape is compared with the standard color chart, and we get to know the amount of ketone bodies produced. And there is even a breath test which will help us to know whether acetone is being exhaled, and it will help us to know whether the person has entered the state of ketosis. Now, when a large number of people are following keto diet, we must know what are the potential benefits of keto diet. So I have mentioned the benefits here. Keto diet helps in reversal of diabetes, like it helps in reducing the symptoms. It reduces the glycosylated hemoglobin level. It reduces the body's requirement of insulin because keto diet is mainly based on fat. And even the insulin resistance is reversed. So diabetes uh, control can be observed. Keto diet also helps in cancer by reducing insulin and cell proliferation signals. It reduces blood glucose levels and the fuel availability for the cancer cells. It increases the susceptibility to chemotherapy or radiation while protecting the normal cells. Keto diet helps in weight loss by reducing the appetite, by reducing the visceral fat, and by reducing the body weight, but maintaining the lean mass and the resting metabolic rate. Keto diet also helps in the cardiovascular disease by lowering triglycerides, lowering the LDL cholesterol, but increasing the HDL cholesterol. There are other conditions in which keto diet has given results, encouraging results. PCOD, autism, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, metabolic syndrome. But uh, more evidence, more studies are still needed, because whatever conclusions that have been derived are based on studies which have been conducted on small groups of people and for a very short span of time. Now, when we say that ketogenic diet helps in cancer prevention, so what is the mechanism that takes place to help cancer? So this figure helps you to understand that, see, there's a normal cell and there is a cancer cell. So in a normal cell, when a person is taking a keto diet, and when ketone bodies are produced uh, by the fatty acid, by the oxidation of fatty acid, these ketone bodies are then further broken down and get converted to acetyl coenzyme A, which enters the Krebs cycle and which can be used for energy. So this is the process taking place in the normal cell, okay, where fatty acid oxidation producing ketone bodies and ketone bodies then producing acetyl CoA. But when there is a cancerous cell, what happens is that uh, the ketone bodies produced by the fatty acid oxidation do not get converted to acetyl CoA, and hence no TCA cycle takes place and no energy for the cell to proliferate. Okay, so this is how This is a mechanism which explains how ketogenic diet helps in preventing or controlling cancer. When we say ketogenic diets help to control weight, what exactly happens in the body is that the ketogenic diet, is supposed to reduce the hunger stimulating hormones, as a result of which feeding on keto diet reduces the appetite and it promotes the weight loss. So there a review of 13 different studies done to compare a low carb diet and a ketogenic diet has showed that ketogenic diets are more effective for long-term weight loss compared to low-fat diet, and people have reduced more weight being on ketogenic diet. Along with that, people have also have shown reductions in their diastolic blood pressure and the triglyceride levels. There has been one more study on older adults who found that those who followed a ketogenic diet for 8 weeks lost nearly 5 times as much total body fat as those who followed a low-fat diet. A ketogenic diet, which was specially designed to control epilepsy, helps in reducing the seizures. And there has been a study, a review done in 2019. And this review supports the hypothesis that keto diet can support people with epilepsy, and the ketogenic diet reduces epilepsy symptoms by several mechanisms. So when people have not responded to other treatment modalities, ketogenic diet has helped them. Reduction of cancer, as I just said, the TCA cycle does not proceed in cancerous cells. But apart from that, how keto diets help in cancer is that keto diet cause more oxidative stress in cancer cells than in normal cells. So the keto diet create an imbalance between the antioxidants and the free radicals that are formed in the cells, and this oxidative stress is more in the cancer cells, which causes them to die. Again, the research are limited, and so we cannot come to a conclusion, a blanket conclusion regarding the reduction of cancers. More studies are needed to study the benefits of ketogenic diet in cancer prevention and treatment. How ketogenic diets help in heart health. So as I mentioned in the earlier slide, that ketogenic diets help in reducing the amount of cholesterol, especially the LDL, and the triglyceride levels also drop, and the HDL's level rise, which help in maintaining the heart health. But here the key point is the selection of the fat that we take, that we do. So fat have to be essentially healthful fats. So fats low in saturated fatty acids will help by reducing LDLs and the cholesterol levels. So the quality of fat, the quality of diet is very important here. And then keto diets also help to protect the brain function. Keto diet are supposed to provide the neuroprotective benefits, which means they can strengthen and protect the brain as well as the nerve cells. And it is for this reason that keto diet has shown positive effect on Alzheimer's disease in the control of the disease. Again, more research is needed here. Now let us talk about the risks. After having talked about the benefits, we must also know what are the risks of keto diet. So when a person starts taking keto diet, the first thing, the body undergoes a sudden change from a carbohydrate rich diet to a low carbohydrate diet, high fat diet, and this causes keto flu. And the symptoms of keto flu are insomnia, fatigue, nausea, and vomiting. endurance issues while exercising, headaches, constipation, and dizziness. Now, these symptoms, when they appear, they are only for short term and they last only for few days to few weeks. Uh, Taking enough fluids and electrolytes help to ease these symptoms, and if the symptoms continue for a longer period, one must consult the doctor. So, any other risks if we talk about keto diet, like brain fog or irritability? So, taking sufficient amount of electrolytes, fluids, eating more fat, uh, drinking more water, all these will help. Eating, like constipation may be a problem sometimes, then in that case, eating more fiber, all these help to get rid of the symptoms of keto flu. There are some long-term health risks also, which include deficiency of vitamins and minerals, which may then further lead to a variety of symptoms, which may be mild or mild to severe. Other long-term health risks are kidney stones development, then fatty liver or hepatic steatosis, hypoproteinemia, that is low level of proteins in the blood. Uh, Now, earlier in the previous slide, I said that keto diet is good for heart. But there is a study done in 2016 which says that when people follow low carbohydrate diet, uh, some people tend to show a rise in the LDL cholesterol also, which becomes a risk factor for heart disease. A review done in 2012 says that when the animal sources of protein and fat are consumed more in a keto diet, then it increases the risk of type 2 diabetes and may even lead to death. What should be done to reduce these risks? One must ensure enough intake of vitamins and minerals from the food that are allowed in keto diet. Selecting more helpful fats such as olive oil, oily fish, avocados instead of saturated fats. One must avoid processed foods which contain a good amount or higher amount of saturated fat. And if a person is following keto diet to for weight loss, then he or she must reintroduce some carbohydrates slowly once the moderate weight loss is reached. Some considerations while following a keto diet is one very important, and that is varying results. All people do not show same pattern of weight loss or other health benefits when they consume keto diet. So according to Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the rate at which people get into ketosis and start losing weight varies depending on different factors. Second point of consideration is difficulty in following keto diet, because here a person has to uh, st- uh, strictly limit the intake of carbohydrates. So it is really challenging to follow a diet which is high in fat for extended period. And it also happens that once a person starts stops limiting carbohydrate, means taking carbohydrate again in higher amount, then the whatever weight has been lost, the person again starts regaining weight. And saturated fat. So regardless of the kind of fat a person is consuming, whether a person consumes fat from saturated fat or unsaturated fat, a person will enter a state of ketosis. So selection of food becomes very important. So one must not heavily rely on animal fats, which are associated with long-term health risks. So since we know that keto diet is helpful in weight loss, it becomes important that uh, sorry, who should try and who should not try keto diet. We are talking about that. So, National Center for Health Research, according to National Center for Health Research, people with epilepsy can go for keto diet, as well as those who wish to control insulin levels or improve insulin sensitivity. So, people with diabetes, they can go for keto diet. According to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, keto diet is not meant for people with pancreatic disease, people having thyroid conditions or liver conditions or gallbladder disease or removal of gallbladder, or who are having a history of eating disorders. So, in a nutshell, a keto diet, uh, yes, a person can go for a keto diet, but always under medical supervision, or one must always approach or consult a qualified dietitian before starting a keto diet. It should not be consumed for extended period, and one must check for any complications arising of the diet, and uh, these days we follow many things from Google. Okay, so important thing is, do not follow Google everywhere. Uh, Consult a doctor or nutritionist if there is a need for keto diet. Thank you.
Good afternoon, students. If you have any doubt, you can ask Bhavna ma'am the same.
Yeah, any questions are welcome.
Does anyone have any doubt, or do you want to ask any question to ma'am?
Do they study about this in their syllabus? Keto diet? Is it a part of their syllabus?
Yes, ma'am. Some of them are studying. They are all students, BSc, MSc. So some of the students have a part of their course.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So anybody here following a keto diet, or have ever tried to suggest it to somebody? Has anyone ever tried keto diet?
Students, please answer, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, fine. Okay, great. So if you have any questions, they are welcome. Otherwise, I think we can conclude.
Yes, ma'am. I don't think they have.
Okay.
Ma'am, I would like to present a vote of thanks for today's webinar. I would like to thank our guest speaker, Dr. Bhavna White, for enlightening us with the knowledge on ketogenic diet. It gave deep insights into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge that you gave us will definitely help our students in their study and future. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for giving your precious time.
Thank you. Nupur, somebody asked whether we can give keto diet to obese person. Yes, that is what we were talking about. It helps in weight loss. Okay, but it should come either from a doctor or from a qualified dietitian, not from Google. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nupur.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you for your precious
Thank you so
time, ma'am.
much.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.